Welcome to Low Voltage Chat. I'm your host, Chuck Bowser, RCD technician, and my co host is
Kevin Pascos. Thanks for having me.
not a problem. That's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. Our schedule got kind of out of whack, so we're just trying to put the schedule back into the correct format because heaven forbid we change our calendars. We can't do that. That'd be too easy. So tonight's subject, we're talking about the Grey Tsunami. We're going to define the Grey Tsunami. Actually, we're not going to define it. Chat GPT is going to define the Grey Tsunami for us. And then while I was on there, I got thinking, hey, maybe I need to ask Chat GPT what are 15 tips to help capitalize on the great Grey Tsunami. So we got 15 tips, and Kevin and I are going to go through those 15 tips. Hopefully, we can get them through in 30 minutes. If not, we'll go a little bit longer. But I can't go past 7 because I got a study group tonight, TDMM study group. So I can't go past. Actually, I can't go past probably till about 6:45 because I need 15 minutes to get ready for the live stream. So let's just start off with what is the Grey Tsunami? You may not have heard that term. I hear it all the time. And here's what ChatGPT said. I'm just going to put the overlay up. And if you really want to read that long definition, have at it. Have at it. But I'm going to summarize. What is the Grey Tsunami? So what they're talking about is a bunch of old people who have gray hair, like me. And they're getting towards the fall of their career. And we are the baby boomer generation. And so a bunch of us are retiring and all at one time. And so that's creating a wave because it's not a trickle, it's a huge wave of um, people leaving the industry at one time. And I got to thinking, and these numbers are not scientific. This is just all based on my research. You know me and post-it notes. That's how I do my research. And I got to thinking, how big is the baby boomers? How many people do you think are baby boomers in the population of the United States, Kevin?
I know it's significant, and I'm just going to throw it out there. Are you saying how many total or how many retire each year?
No, just total. Because I couldn't find the retired numbers.
I want to say probably between 1 and 2 million.
You're way off. 70 million baby boomers.
Wow.
70 million baby boomers. Yes. And the next group behind that would be Gen X. And baby boomers is, I think, 1945 to 1964, I think. I know it's 1964 because I'm just barely a baby boomer. That's how I know it's
70 million.
64. So the next major section of the population is Gen X. Take a guess on how many Gen X's there are.
100 million.
You're way off again. There are 65 million Gen Xers.
Darn it.
And then the last major population section that we're going to cover is the Gen Zs. Okay, the Gen Zs. How many Gen Zs do you think there are?
Well, if there's 70 million baby boomers and they had those kids, I would say it's even higher. So I'm going to keep with my 100 million.
72 million.
Okay.
72 million. So when you total those three major groups up, that's 170 million people that are of kind of in the working age, millennials. Ooh, I forgot to add the millennials. Thank you for Steph. Oh my gosh. Maybe somebody can look it up and let me know in one of the feeds. Oh, hey, we got chats. Let's put the chat on. I forgot to do that. There we go. The silver tsunami. Yes, yes. Hey, John, welcome, John. Hey, John is a fellow photographer.
Hi,
John
John.
Bowser. He is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's a fantastic photographer. And it's kind of funny how I met him. One day I was bored many years ago. We've known each other now for, I don't know, I think 10 years. I got on and said, Bowser Photography. I just want to see what other Bowsers out there that did photography. And I found him and we just kicked it off. And, every time I go to Philadelphia, we kind of always meet up and stuff like that. So it's a pretty
That's
cool guy.
awesome.
Pretty,
That's
pretty cool
awesome.
guy. So somebody look up. So, Paul, are you saying there's 72 million millennials? Is that what you're saying? 72 million? Did you look that up? Because I forgot to look those up. So if you total the three that I found, the baby boomers, the Gen X, and the Gen Zs, that's 170 million people. When you think about that, baby boomers are roughly about 40% of that 170 million people. So that means 40%. So So Paul says 72 million is the millennials. So I have to redo my calculations. So 42% of the workforce is retiring. Actually, it's probably more than that because in the Gen Z is 1997 to 2012. Well, if you're born in 2012, you're only 11 years old. You're not in the workforce yet. So half of that, right? So that'd be what, 35 million. So that's a lot of people who are retiring. And that's going and that's going to cause a lot of things. I'm not going to talk about the negativity stuff that's going to cause, but let's talk about how it can affect you in the workforce. So I also asked Chat GPT, what are 15 suggestions that we can use to capitalize on? So here's the first one, and the way we're going to do this is I'll do the odds. I'll read it and I'll give my suggestions. I'll ask Kevin if she has any additional. Then Kevin will do number two, and then we'll just go back and forth until we get to 15. Yay! So the first one is to embrace continuous learning, stay updated with the industry trends, advancements, and remain competitive. Oh my gosh, I could talk 45 minutes just on that one alone.
We should just stay with this one.
Okay, but okay, here we go. So
Okay.
the biggest thing, number one, free resources, cable installation and maintenance magazine. There's another one. It's called. I know it's abbreviated CEV, but I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to put it in the description when I post this video. Construction, electrical, construction engineering. Something they do low voltage stuff from time to time as well. Free magazines, free way to stay up with Internet of Things and digital electricity and codes and standards. Right, that's a great way to stay, and it's free. Did I mention free?
Yeah.
I feel like I forgot to mention free. Yes, it's free, right? Um, that's the easiest way. Now, if you're willing to spend a little bit of money, go get a certification. Bixie's got a great bunch of certifications from the installer program to the RCDD to the outside plant to project management. It's going to cost you some money, but it's going to wreak you a lot of money on the backside of that. So learn, learn, and don't be afraid to ask questions. You can only be the best you can be in this industry is a constant learner, and just be open to other ways of thinking. Because and I tell you what, as a baby boomer, that's a challenge for me because I've been doing this for 41 years. So when somebody comes up with a new way of doing stuff, I'm like, that's not the way we do it. But just because it's not the way that I did it doesn't mean it's not the right way or a good way. So be a constant learner, right? Um, Kevin, do you have any suggestions for embracing continuous learning?
I do. And I totally agree with you with the continued learning. And I also feel that you shouldn't just stop. As you grow older, it definitely should be a lifestyle. And sign up for those classes, go to your JC, go to your local community, I guess,
Community college.
organizations, colleges. And Big C is an amazing resource. If you can get your foot in the door and start understanding how Bixie works and how you can align your career goals in that direction. Let's talk about NICA and the apprenticeship programs that can also
Right.
parallel your work efforts. But my favorite would be LinkedIn Learning and the
Yes.
events that are 24/7, and you type in what you want to learn and you're going to find it. Probably not as robust as YouTube, but you're going to probably be surrounded by a lot more like-minded folks. So LinkedIn Learning and events would be my number one choice.
Yeah. LinkedIn Learning, it may not be as robust as YouTube, but the content is better quality.
I totally agree.
Yeah, YouTube. Don't get me wrong. YouTube's got some great information out there, but you've got to any resource you should evaluate where it's coming from. But you got to be even more careful with YouTube
Yeah.
because anybody can throw up a YouTube channel. Anybody. I got two of them. That's it.
Well, and the LinkedIn events, they're recorded, so you can save them. You
Yes.
can go
Yes.
back to them,
Yeah.
and you can build a community from those very same people that you're looking to learn from. So I
Right.
that LinkedIn Learning and events are my
Yes.
I
And
love them. I use them myself.
here's a good thing about the LinkedIn thing, right? The LinkedIn Learning, and it used to be something else before because I used to have a subscription to the previous platform, and then LinkedIn bought them out. I can't remember what it was called before, but it's free if you are one of the LinkedIn paid customers. Now, don't get me wrong. that LinkedIn subscription is not cheap. It's like what, 60, 70 bucks a month or something like that. But here's the thing. If you go take a class at Bixie, that's $2,500. That's $2,500. If you do LinkedIn for a year, that's $1,200, and you can take there as many as you want and get the certificate. So it's a great resource. It's an absolute great resource. Does
So,
LinkedIn Learning track completion and credentials? Yes, they do.
yep.
Yes, they do. Absolutely. If you go, as a matter of fact, if you go on my LinkedIn profile right now, and you go down and look under the skills, you'll see the ones that I did. I did an Excel one. I did a public speaking one. So they keep track. And then when you're in the class, correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin. I think it tracks your progress as you're going through the course. So if you
Mhm.
stop, you can come back to it, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
And again, you're affiliated, you're connecting with those same people that are in that group. But it's kind of a completion course, so you almost get like an E stamp and you could put it into your profile, which is kind of cool. And they have leadership and technology and endless supplies of free education.
Yep. Yep. All right. Let's go to number two. Let's go to number two. Let's see. If you're not continuously learning, you're losing out. Absolutely. Steve
Yeah.
Cowles is in the house. Hey, did you see the episode last week with Steve Cowles?
Me?
Yes.
No, I did not.
I had him on the podcast. We talked about cable cable calibration. So it's an
Oh.
excellent show. So you got number two.
All right, number two, network strategically. Build connections with experienced professionals and mentors who can offer guidance and open doors to opportunities. This is my favorite one. Thank you for letting me have number two because networking with your people, your circle of influence, and it doesn't just mean with LinkedIn, it's your community, it's your family, it's your colleagues, it's your coworkers, people that maybe you have grown up with, maybe you volunteer, etc. But using your network as leverage to understand that there might be an opportunity available. I did a poll a couple weeks ago, 1 or 2 weeks ago, and I asked, "What are your thoughts about it's who you know?" That was kind of my poll question. Do you agree that it's who you know? And the poll came back, and it was overwhelming. It was about 68% that opportunities are 68% usually given to you because of who you know, and then the other, obviously you're on your own. But networking strategically, so if you're looking for a job, if you're looking to move up in the company, network within your own company. Don't go ask the CEO for a raise when you should probably be working with your supervisor to
Right.
maybe hone some skills to get you prepared to have that opportunity in the future. And strategically, if you're looking for a job, definitely have a network with Chuck Bowser. I mean, he's the guy, right?
Stop.
He
It's
knows
funny. It's
everybody.
it's funny that you say networking because next week I am networking at the Nika Bixie Summit, and
Yes,
I've got stickers,
so
Wire
jealous.
Monkey stickers, and podcast stickers. I'm going to be bringing with me one shirt, and I'm going to stop by every booth. I'm going to talk to everybody that I can because I like to network. Oh, did you see Jim's comment? He says in Alabama, seniors can audit classes at any of the state universities free.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So what do they define as a senior? Is it 60, 65? I'm asking for a friend because I'm obviously not that old. Not
Well,
that old.
however old you are is the limit, I believe. That's when they're taking them in, Chuck.
Yes, yes.
Well, I'm jealous on the stickers. And if somebody can bring me home one to California after you see Chuck and at the summit, I'd really
I'll send you
appreciate it.
some. I'll send you some because I
Yeah, I'd
plan on giving
appreciate
them
it.
all away. So I'll
I,
send you one of each. One of the Wire Monkeys. One of the Let's Talk Hibbing. I don't think I have any Knowledge is Power stickers left though. I think I gave them all away at Technology Worldwide. Nolan's in the house. Hey Nolan. All right, let's go ahead and close out number two. Again,
okay.
we're talking about the Great Tsunami Wave and 15 tips on how to take advantage of that. So the number three, acquiring new skills, identify emerging skills in your industry, invest in learning and development to stay current. That's a great one. Oh my gosh, that's a great one. So in our industry, there's the normal skills, terminating copper, testing copper, installing fiber, um, learning how to estimate, and also learning how to project manage. So learn those skill sets, and you can do that from a couple different methods. You can do it from the classes that we just talked about, and and then you can also do it from um, just watching people. Just my wife calls it mirroring. Her company is called Life Labs Learning. Well, it's not her company, but she works for them. Life Labs Learning, and they do this thing called mirroring, where you mirror other people's behaviors. That's so. Pick somebody who's really good at their job. They may not be good at being friends or whatever with you, but if they're really good at being a project manager, mirror their behaviors because that's obviously what a good project manager does, right? Acquire the new skills. And then I'll tell you another skill. Oh my gosh, this is a pet peeve of mine. A skill, if you don't have this skill already, you really should take a typing class, okay? Because most men suck at typing. And I've seen it more because I teach across the country, and people got to come up to my computer to sign in, and I watch them type their name like that. Learn the home row, learn typing skills, right? Learn it because that's going to help you with computers, and that's going to make you be less frustrated with computers, right? And use that as a resource. All right, let's go to number 4. Here we go. This one's yours, Kevin.
Wait, I had a comment about number
Oh,
3.
okay. We'll go back to number 3.
So, a friend of mine recently told me that New Times Roman is the text that you should kind of gravitate towards with communicating with others.
Why? Just out of curiosity.
Something about the feet on the bottom where it lands and it makes your eye continue to want to travel.
Huh.
Yeah,
I'll have
I'm
to
a
ask my wife that because my wife is a graphic. She went to Art Institute, and I always do my graphics. She always hits me about the font style. I'll have to
oh
ask
I
her about
yeah,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
a Calibri girl, and he said no. You know, if you, like on resumes or cover letters, New Times Roman is kind of where you want to be. So, just wanted to add that in there.
Well,
Okay,
that's
4.
great. Number 4. This one's yours.
Be adaptable, embrace change, and be open to exploring new roles or industry to navigate the evolving job market. I really like this because gosh, have we not had to been adaptable this last 3 years in particular as far as like what the heck is going on, right? And so when we adapt, it allows us to be open to new ideas and it allows us to be perceived as being open to those new ideas as well and to embrace change and not AI as a photographer, I was like, oh, I hate it. I don't like it. It's not going to work for me. Hey, I appreciate it. I know that they're never going to get rid of photographers per se, but I had to adapt and I had to embrace AI. And to be honest with you, I've had fun with it. But to be open to exploring new roles and industries. Okay, so we're in the construction industry. In California, I believe, I don't know if it's US or just California, but there was 168,000 layoffs in our field, right? And
Right.
that goes down ICT, security, blah blah. So, maybe it's a good time for you to consider that career that you wanted to pursue in manufacturing or farming, who knows, but to be open to it and or to take your skill set and create a side hustle of the thing that you are really good at, so to navigate what you're looking for.
Right.
And
Right.
if you're looking for a leadership role, you will probably have to have a little bit more education than you did as a journeyman or as a field guy, so just kind of know that there might be
Right.
some gaps that you need to understand before you go for it.
Yeah. So Paul typed in the chat box. People like familiar and comfortable. They absolutely do. You got to get out of your comfort zone. And it's funny because right before the show, I mean, literally like seconds before I clicked the live button, I kind of said to Kevin, I said, "Did I ever tell you the story on how I got into this?" And she goes, "No, you have." So I'll give you the 15-second story. My day job sent me to corporate to record videos. I failed horribly. They had to throw away every single video, and I don't like failure. So because it was outside my comfort zone. I didn't like being in front of cameras. So I said, you know what? I need to fix that. And where would I be today if I hadn't overcome those comfort skills? There wouldn't be a Let's Talk Cabling podcast.
You had to fail to be the success you
Yeah.
are now.
Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So let's go to number 5. This was an odd, so that's going to be me. Leverage experience. Highlight your experiences and expertise gained over the years to the position yourself for as a valuable asset. That's a good one. That's an absolutely good one. And I will add to this, make it sure that people know your experiences. Now, I'm not saying being a bragger, but people don't know if you don't tell them, right? So when you got let's say that you took before you got in communications, you took couple years at the local community college and you learned you had to do mandatory writing classes and mandatory, Excel spreadsheet classes. Tell people about that, because you know what? If you want to become a project manager, you want to become an estimator, you have to know how to write. You have to know how to make tables in Excel. But if you don't tell people that you took those classes, learn how to embrace it, because yes, it's not all about terminating jacks, right? Don't get me wrong, I love terminating jacks, but it's not all about terminating jacks. And even if you stay within the technical side, let's say that you're doing copper, but you've done a little bit of fiber on the side, and you tell your company that, because they might say, "Have you done some fiber? Well, we might want to train you some more on fiber." So embrace those experiences, highlight them, tell them that you got it, because when like I said, when 41% of the workforce leaves, right, that's gonna those people, the current project managers and estimators, they're gonna move up. That's gonna leave that spot, for that foreman position, that lead tech position, right? So it's not just the higher positions that are going to open up from the boomers leaving, because when everybody shifts up. So the person who's that installer today, there's going to be more opportunities for you to be a technician.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to open up everywhere. It's not because you don't find too many baby boomers that are installers. There's some, but not many. But yes.
I have a point on that too, and it drives me nuts. So when I love the acronyms RCDD because it's of our friend Vixie organization, wonderful organization, and all of their acronyms, all their credentialing acronyms. If you are getting shirts made or your business card or your signature on your email, have the embroiderer add RCDD. It is an amazing accomplishment.
If you're an RCDD.
If you're an RCDD.
If you're an RCDD.
But,
don't put them on there if you're not.
Right. Well, right. But if you are an RCDD, I think that's really the one that should be put on there. It's like MD or PhD, right. RCDD. Right. It's so, think about things like that. It's advertising, and don't be afraid to show off your credentials and your hard work.
Oh, absolutely. So when I teach classes, we do it through go-to training. And every time I get in there, I change, they get that little spot where you can put your name in. I always put Chuck Bowser, RCDD technician, because I worked hard for those certifications. I want people to know that I have them. Ed, the old tech guy's in the house. Hey, Ed, how you doing, my friend? Just to kind of recap, we're talking about the Grey Tsunami wave. Obviously, it's not me because there's no gray hair on my head.
And I don't have any gray yet.
Yeah. You get rid of your gray just a different way than I get rid of mine. I shave mine off. Yeah. So...
All right.
Let me see. So we did 5, right? So we're number 6 now. So number 6 is yours, Kevin.
All right. Yes. Emphasize technology proficiency. Enhance your digital skills to leverage technological advancements in your field. So now we're talking, I think we're really focusing on if you're in a situation or a role and you want to improve your life and make more money and have a better job and have more flexibility and respect, street cred, right? We all want that. Emphasize your technology proficiency. I worked with a fella, one of the smartest guys I have ever had the honor to work with, and he was as humble as pie, and you would never know that this guy, they used to send him to trainings because he would pass them all. And he'd get the credentials that the organization needed to be affiliated with that manufacturer. And I used to always tell him, you've got to highlight your technological proficiencies because people don't know it. He could go and, program an AMAG panel, and then over here go program an Extron panel, and then the next day it was pretty amazing. And brag. It's not, I wouldn't say brag, but I would say do not be afraid.
It's not bragging if it's true. It's not bragging if it's true.
I think more people need to brag about that, or be a mentor in while you're going up, be the mentor to the kid that you want to replace you so that you are ready for that more high level role. And teach. If you're good at one thing or another, do not be afraid to share that, because I think also in what we're talking about, a lot of these baby boomers, the gray wave, they leave and that's it. You don't hear from them again. They don't come back to audit classes. They don't come back to contribute to the mentees or the younger set. They just leave, and you start seeing them in their RVs and fishing and such. So, which is not bad, but take the time in your mind. If you know you're going to retire in 5 years, start now and give back. And that's, gosh, it's such a gift. And, maybe give somebody your tool bag when you leave. I mean, gosh, would that be, maybe not.
No, 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 no. You ain't get my tool bag. You ain't get my tool bag. You go buy your own tools.
All right, I'll buy you a new set of snippers if you mentor somebody and I know about it. How's that?
There you go. There you go. Very good. Number 7, develop emotional intelligence. I'm a male. I don't have emotional intelligence. Okay, I just don't. Ed says he's not giving away any of his tools either. Strong interpersonal skills, empathy are essential in building relationships and colleagues and clients. So yeah, you're going to be, if you're trying to fill those voids that are being left by the Grey Tsunami, if you don't find a way to get along with other people, that doesn't mean you have to agree with them. Right now, our society is in a really bad place because we're divisive, and there's this general thought that, well, if you like party A and I'm party B, well, then you must hate me because I'm party B. No, you can have differing opinions and still be friends. My brother-in-law, I love him to death. He helped me out in when I was a young guy raising 4 kids. He is the exact opposite side of me, political spectrum. I love him to death, right? But you got to be able to get past that. So I think the whole society can deal from empathy and developing interpersonal skills, because that's one of the bad things that the internet is. It's kind of good at, but it's also kind of bad at, right? It's kind of good at kind of bringing us together, but it's also kind of bad because it's also pitting us against each other all at the same time, which is
I agree.
kind of weird. So yeah, Paul says tribal. So Paul says, how do you find those people for mentorships? Bixie's got a mentorship program. Just look into it. Just it's run by, oh my gosh, her name just went right out of my head. Dang it, Ashley Ashley Mills. Uh, go to Bixie, type of membership, and they open up once a year. But you don't necessarily have to be in a formal program. Reach out to somebody. If there's somebody in your office who's a fiber person and you want to learn fiber, just ask them, hey, can you mentor me? Can from time to time just sit down and show me how to do things, teach me stuff. Most people most mature people are going to jump on that, because when you mentor people, it makes you a better person because it reinforces those skills within you. It's kind of like paying it back almost, right? So, all right, number 8. I'm trying to get this done so we're not here till 7 o'clock.
Okay, so Chuck just totally stole my number 8. I really feel that. He stole it. Okay, y'all are here. I really like Paul. I don't know if Paul is a Bixie member or not. Program, and it's not, so they pair you, as you know, Chuck. So seek reverse mentoring. Connect with younger professionals to gain insights into emerging trends and technologies. We already talked about this. I have had 2 mentors in my career. One passed away a couple years ago, very sad, and my second one ended up it not being a good fit after a while. So I'm in the market for a new North Star. So if you know anybody that I kind of like to start at the CEO level. And I do like that Carol Everett gal. She's pretty awesome.
Carol Evan
She,
Oliver. Yep.
yeah,
I'm gonna try to catch up with her at the
yeah,
Nika Bixie Summit. She said to name the date and the time, so I'm gonna try to catch up with her at the Nika Bixie Summit. And anytime I mentor somebody, because I've got right now I'm mentoring like 5 people,
that's
5
awesome.
people, and that's not counting the study group, right? So there's 5 people that I'm mentoring at different. Some are previous people that, because I put people in my mentoring program for 1 year, and then after the year, it's not like I don't ever talk to them again. Like one of them's in here, um, but I always challenge them. If I'm going to mentor you, pick somebody and you mentor them, because that's the price of admission. If you want me to mentor you, you got to pick somebody within your sphere of influence and you got to mentor them. So
It's a beautiful thing. And I just met somebody. She's a zillionaire, runs her own company. She actually manufactures beverages for Red Bull. CEO of the year, et cetera. And I was able to meet her in person. And I asked her, and that's what you have to do. If you see somebody that you aspire to or are inspired by, meet them, find the opportunity to meet them in person and ask them, will you be my North Star? Will you mentor me during my career efforts? And most times than not, it's the most honorable thing that you can ever ask somebody. But don't be stalker. Don't be like stocky kind of person either. It's got to be a good match.
So Ed, the old tech guy, said in the TikTok group, I'm awkward, but mentoring women in the tech helped me with my interpersonal skills. So that's an absolute truth. And because of my, for those who don't know, I'm a Christian. I don't put it out there very often, but I'm a Christian. I do mentor ladies, and I do try to lift up ladies, but I'm very super careful with meeting women in real life unless my wife is there or we're in a group of people. I don't just meet people. I don't put myself in that kind of position, and that's not for everybody. That's just one of my things, right? It's just the way I am. I didn't know that, Steve. Steve says Chuck is one of my mentors. I did not know that.
Well,
Um,
you're kind of a mentor for me too, Chuck. You took me under your wing, and I came knocking, and I said, "Hey, let's do this. I admire your work, and I want to participate in this effort and share awareness and teach and just really create a positive place where people can come." So you've done a great job with me with that. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And see, sometimes you don't really. Hey, that's actually. I don't think that's one of the 15 tips.
Well, no, because we keep getting off track because we like to
That's gonna
talk.
be number 16. Number 16, right?
Is it?
That's so. Nolan says Chuck's my mentor and role model. That's who I was talking about when one of them's in this group. No, I've known
Uh,
Nolan for like 3 years now,
that's
and
awesome.
we had a real long conversation one day about estimating, and he goes, "How did you learn all this stuff?" I said, "I made lots of mistakes." Right?
You know what we should do, Chuck? Because I see Thomas here. He's looking for a mentor as well. Maybe we should have a mentor show and put people together and maybe figure out like a demographic of where you live and where we can hook you all up. And because obviously a lot of these people are in the technology, ICT, infrastructure worlds. So it would just make sense to have a show dedicated for
Right.
mentorship. I believe it's Turner Construction does just that. They pair an older fella and a newer fella, and those two fellas work together. And I just got chills talking about it because it's like it's a great thing.
Right. Number 9, stay healthy, practice self care, maintain physical and mental well being, which contributes to career success. Oh, yes. And this is one of the ones I've always struggled with because I've always been so career focused that, and I'd be on the road all the time. So I would eat a bunch of, fast food and not pay attention. I'd work 80, 90 hours a week and not take that mental time to just to decompress and just realize, you can't always be go, 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 go. Sometimes you just got to sit on the back porch and watch the hummingbirds.
Totally agree.
There you go. There's number 9. Number 10.
Oh, is that me? That's me.
That's you. Yep.
Embrace lifelong learning, foster a growth mindset, actively seeking opportunities in personal and professional development. We kind of touched on this a little bit. Lifelong learning, to you have to learn, whether it's from grade school to high school to college to master's, PhD, get another degree, go get a couple credentials, humble yourself and study for the RCDD or DCDC. That'll be more humbling. And keep going. Our friend Trevor Kleinert, how many acronyms and certifications does that guy have behind his name? It's
Way more
crazy.
than mine. Way more
He's
than
on
mine.
like line 3. So I'm not saying that you have to, but it will continue to keep your brain active, and it uses the mind muscle. And I feel that it keeps you inspired, and it keeps you relevant too. I think it keeps you relevant in your own heart, but it keeps you relevant in the industry.
Yep.
And to have foster a growth mindset, share your knowledge, and we can't focus enough on this knowledge and learning. So yeah, and actively seek opportunities. Do not be
Yes.
afraid of asking. I always tell myself, if you don't ask, you don't know.
Yeah. Forrest Yoon's in the channel, and he just said that you're a great mentor. I appreciate that, Forrest. I consider you a mentor too, my friend. I point him out because he does free study groups from time to time. And you just watch LinkedIn. And now, I will tell you, he's in Korea, I think.
Wow.
He's like in a different time zone. So, and the reason I only point that out is because you might have to get up early or stay up late to attend one of them. I've done that. I've shown up on his thing a couple times. I guarantee you, Forrest is a lifelong learner. Guarantee you he
That's
is.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Number 11, demonstrate flexibility. Be open to part time or freelance work arrangements or tap into the gig economy, explore a diverse opportunities. I'm a perfect example of that. I got a day job. I got a day job. The podcast is me reaching outside of that. I do freelance work after hours, of course. I don't let that mess up my day job, and I get paid by the gig sometimes. So and because you pick up new skills, you pick up new skills. I mean, like for example, because of the podcast, I am familiar enough that I feel like I can teach somebody how to use Adobe Premiere Pro. And for those who don't know Adobe Premiere Pro, it's like the Ferrari of video editing. I mean, it does a lot of stuff, but it's got a really long learning curve. And can you use that? Do you want to be a content creator? Do you want to do TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook? Do you want to do videos? You better learn a video editing program. That's not something you would normally think of, in the ICT industry. But there's a lot of people out there who want to be content creators. So
Yep.
number 12.
Number 12. Stay current with job market. Keep an eye on job boards, industry publications, and professional networks to identify potential openings. LinkedIn has an amazing feature that you can stay current with jobs. If you're looking, obviously you do the I'm looking or open to work banner. I don't really always recommend that. I do work with a career coach if anybody is looking to help fine tune your efforts. But the LinkedIn job board, if you will, it is rabbit hole city. I mean, you could save your searches, you could tailor your searches, you could do it based on demographics, based on title, based on there's so many, and so you can also have alerts. And the alert might come in differently for you than it would for
Right.
Chuck or
Right.
me, but it's quite interesting. And so in my mind, I'm always open to seeing what opportunities are out there, because I'll tell you, if there's an opportunity to work with a specific one, two, or three tiered corporation that I've always would have loved to have worked for, hey, let's talk, because I can come in as a contractor or part-time gig. And
Right.
so it's keep your eyes open, LinkedIn jobs.
I'll add to that, staying current with the job market. I don't watch the listings for who's hiring, but the way that I stay current with the job market, I'm in several Facebook groups, right? I'm in Low Voltage Nation, Technology Worldwide, Telecom Technician, Telecom Archaeology, and that's how I stay current with that stuff because I don't get exposed to everything out there that everybody's doing. So I may not post all the time, but I'm in there every day reading posts and stuff, and that way I kind of got a good feel for what the installers or challenges they're facing on a daily basis. So that's how I stay current with the job market.
Well, and then one more thing on that too, lean on your network. If you want to work for where Chuck wants to work, because we all know where that is, and we would all love to work for that corporation because it's an amazing organization. Ask him, ask Chuck, hey, are there any openings? Is there somebody that you could maybe connect me with or introduce me to? And again, if you don't know, if you don't ask, you're not going to know. So lean on your network.
Absolutely. Number 13. Number 13, adapt to remote work, develop remote work skills, familiarize yourself with virtual collaboration tools. That's a good one. Now, you may not necessarily think about that for an installer who is out there terminating in the field, but project manager, an estimator,
Yep.
you might have to learn how to work Zoom or Microsoft Teams. You might have to figure out how to be comfortable in front of a camera, pay attention. There's an instructor that I know, I won't mention the instructor's name, who does a lot of online classes. And and this is just because of my photography background, right? So he's got the camera in front of him. He's in his room, his office, and he's got his window to his house behind him. So he's backlit. You can barely see him. All you see is kind of like a silhouette. People want to make eye contact with what they're looking at. So, and those are kind of skills, photography skills, learning those platforms like GoTo Training. Because if you don't make videos like on Teachables to make money and stuff, you got to be comfortable with all those platforms, and that's a learning curve. It's a
Oh,
learning curve,
Chuck, you and I are both, I mean, we're photographers, right? It
right?
has taken me about a year to get savvy to be able to do this efficiently and effectively. Like last week when we met, I'm outside of a Starbucks under one of their umbrellas on a hotspot from my phone to get it connected to you from a Starbucks network. But you have to be able to do that.
Right.
And because people are relying on you to show up for your contributions.
Right. Yeah, Paul
All
says I
right.
don't know how people keep up with all these groups. It's hard. It's hard, and it's a time commitment. It is an absolute time commitment. But so for me, it's a passion. That's why I do it all the time, because
Yeah.
I want to know what people are doing, so that way I'm in touch with what the industry's doing. Okay,
Your
number
friends are funny.
14. I know they aren't they.
Okay, 14. Polish your online presence. Maintain a professional online presence through platforms like LinkedIn and showcase your expertise. So, I think we should do a mentoring show, and I think we should do a polish your online presence because, yeah, you post it out.
I'm right. Yeah, exactly what I'm doing.
Because between you and me, we can shape somebody up right quick, and maybe you and I can be, in to some degree, online mentors in helping our fellow colleagues get to the areas that they want to get to, and polishing your online presence too. Maintain, especially on LinkedIn. Maybe not a good time to show you and your beer drinking buddies that you went marlin fishing the weekend before, etc. Keep it
Well,
where.
it's not. It's okay. It's not bad that you show yourself marlin fishing while drinking a beer, but there's a fine line there. It used to be social media was separate than the business world, but now when somebody goes to hire you, they go look you up on Facebook and Instagram. So don't be out there, doing something that's going to, be negative on you as an applicant or as a candidate for a position you're applying for, because that boomer retired and it's opening up a position for him.
Well, and that's my point too, right? So when you're posting specifically on LinkedIn and Facebook too, always be aware that your platforms are visible to hiring companies, and HR, they have secret tools that they can go in and find you, and or they'll ask their niece to go in and friend you or what have you. So just be really cognizant of that. And also, I would love a show to help people consider lighting, Chuck, and to consider backgrounds, busy or not, because you have a really cool background. And I'm in here because my network allows me to stream in this location in my house. But we're both going to start rocking our live streaming from our she sheds.
Right, right.
Well, you have a he shed.
He should. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, a lot of
So,
people don't know this. This is actually the spare bedroom in my house. I had to go into the bedroom because my wife works from home too. And when I talk, I use my instructor voice. Seattle's in the house. I use my instructor voice, and so she couldn't be sitting next to me. So she put me in here, and it didn't make for a very good background. Again, the photography in me comes out. I was like, so I just went to, and this is not a virtual background. This is real. Watch, I'll pick up one of these books. Okay, that's real. That's not a backdrop. So I just went to Lowe's. I bought the fake brick paneling, and I nailed it to the wall. I bought an LED light. Boom, and look what you got. It's. I wouldn't say it's beautiful, but it's professional looking, right?
it's dynamic. You
Right.
draw the eyes to you, and so maybe we can talk about that too, the online presence. And because if you are going to be doing Zoom calls and doing meetings and such, and you want to be perceived as the professional, again, not the time to have your daughter's changing table behind you, right? Because I actually have seen that. So just backgrounds like that, right? And
Pay attention to your backgrounds. Yes,
the
absolutely.
fake backgrounds are good. I had a fake background in here at one time. I couldn't live with a background in the center of my room, so it drove me nuts. But worse, if you can blur your background, that is ideal. But sometimes you get that depth of field weirdness that gets
Right.
all weird,
Right.
which isn't good too. But a $20 shower curtain. So I want to talk. I want to do the mentor show, and I want to do the online presence show because I think that we can
I,
definitely add value.
absolutely. I wrote you know me. It's on the post-it note. It's on the post-it note. Those will be future subjects for low voltage chat. All right, number 15, and we've kind of already beat this one to death. Seek mentorship. Connect with experienced professionals who can provide guidance and support as you navigate your career path. So we've already talked about mentoring. We've already talked about potential sources for mentoring. But so what I'll tack on to this is you can have more than one. You can have more than one mentor. The last year I had three. I had a mentor older than me, a mentor younger than me, and I had a female mentor. Because that way I felt I was getting a good, well-rounded, well-rounded mentoring. Wasn't just because a lot of times we tend to pigeonhole ourselves by we like familiarity, as Paul said, and so we'll pick somebody who looks like us, whatever you look like, and we'll put well, you know what? There might be somebody who doesn't look like you, who's really not. I'll give you an example. There's a lady in my study group. She's in it for this is our second time, and I think I told you about her before already. She's studying for RCDD and her DCDC at the same time. I'll tell you what, that lady's going to go far in this industry, and I'll tell you what, you want her as a mentor. You want her as a mentor.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
At the same time,
Yes, at the same time. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you're asking me that. Yes, at the same time. Yes. And most people struggle just studying for their RCDD by itself. So, you have
well,
anything to
I
add to
had
15?
my RCDD is up. The book is up there, and it's staying there for a little while until I forgive it. We're not friends right now.
Uh,
So
chapter one's a hard chapter to get through.
yeah, boy. But no, I really like this conversation. I feel that ChatGPT, it consistently kind of added the mentorship deal in there. I think we are aware that how important that is. And that I feel that this is such a great platform to be able to because people are disconnected a little bit, and to be
Right.
able to find somebody specifically. I want an ICT mentor that
Right.
maybe owns the place, or et cetera. Or if you're an apprentice, find somebody that's farther up, maybe an engineer or an estimator that you could hang out with or learn from. and
Right.
and not just on work hours. Say, hey, I'd like to meet with you after, and do you have time for me? A little brother kind of thing, big brother deal.
Right.
So
Right.
anyway, but no, I like this, and your friends are really cool. I'm really enjoying meeting them. They seem to be very nice, and
Well,
they're
I don't know some of these people. I mean, some of the people I know, some people I don't know, but they know me. So if you know me, then we're friends. That's the way I look at it. I'm a friendly kind of guy. Hey, the old tech guys, friends popping in to say hi. Oh, East Coast Ken. Hey, East Coast Ken's in the house. Oh, I got to show you one thing. You're gonna kick out of this. I'm gonna test to see how old everybody is. Okay. Hey, what is this?
it's a tuba.
No, nope. Anybody know what this is? I know
It's a
Ed the
beer
old tech guy
bong.
knows what it is because he gave it to me. So this is actually from Microsoft. There was the paperclip icon thingy that they used to have in their clip. He
Oh,
made that for me. So isn't that cool?
that's awesome.
Yeah. In the new studio, he'll get hung up somewhere so people can see it. Clippy, thank you. East Coast Ken, Clippy. That
Clippy.
Clippy. Yes, exactly.
Maybe we should have some Clippy awards.
There you go. There you go. All righty. I do have to start getting ready for my RCD study group, which starts at 7 o'clock. So we got through all 15. I didn't think we would do it. Didn't think we'd do it. Hey, call to action. Call to action.
Oh yeah.
So we already have two subjects we want to cover, but if there's a subject that you want us to cover, look us up, send us a message on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, email. You can hire a biplane and fly over my house to do skywriting. I'm okay with that too. Just make sure I'm home. I'm not traveling right when you do that, so I can see it. So yeah, we're always looking for content. So if you've got some ideas, put them out there. You do anything exciting next week before we sign off real quick?
4th of July weekend or next week? This week.
No, next week. Next week's not 4th of July. That's 2 weeks.
I'm going to Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Going to
Nice.
Vegas. It's my mom's birthday, so they live there, so now we get a free place to stay and go
There you
play and
go.
what
There you
have you.
go.
But
Yeah, my son invited me to come hang out with him in Southern California. So I got to figure out how to get the farm animals taken care of, so my wife and I can go out there for a long weekend and go hang out in Southern California. So that'll be kind of cool. Been
well,
a
on
while
your way
since.
down, you can feed horses for us. So Chuck and I have animals, and it's really hard to go anywhere because we have the animals, and we've got a lot of horses, so we're constantly being tugged back home. But they say create the life that you never want a vacation from. So,
Yes. Yes.
but thanks for having me again, Chuck. I think we're gaining steam here. We're gaining
Hmm.
trust and love and loyalty from
Yep.
some new and older folks, and
Yep.
hopefully we've added value to all of you today.
Yep. All right, everybody. So the low voltage chat is every other week. So this will be back on in 2 weeks, and next week's not next week, but the next episode will be on either mentoring or online presence. We're not sure yet. Kevin and I got to talk about it and figure out which one we want to do first. So remember, be out there. Look for those opportunities that are being presented by the big gray tsunami. Take care.